Hello, my name is Keisha Clemens, and I'm the branch manager of the Northwest Library at Scotts Crossing, which is part of the Fulton County Library System. Today I will be sharing with you from the book Woman on the Edge, which is written by Samantha M. Bailey. No language can express the power and beauty and heroism and majesty of a mother's love. It shrinks where no man cowers, and grows stronger where man faints, and over the waste of worldly fortune sends the radiance of its quenchless fidelity like a star in the heaven. Edwin Hubble Chapman. Chapter 1. Morgan, Monday, August 7th. Take my baby. I flinch at the brittle, scratchy voice. I'm standing on the subway platform as I do every day after work, waiting for the train to come. I used to try to smile at people, but I'm warier now. Ever since my husband Ryan died, no one knows how to act around me, and I don't know how to act around them. I usually keep to myself, head down, which is why the voice surprises me. I look up. I thought the woman was talking to a friend, but she's not. She's disheveled, wearing faded black yoga pants and a stained white t-shirt. She's alone and she's talking to me. She clutches a sleeping baby to her chest and with one arm. She knows she has my attention now. She presses against me and my purse bangs into my side. Then she digs sharp nails into my bare wrist. Please take my baby. Icy fingers of fear run up my back despite the sweltering heat inside Grand State Station. The woman is on edge, and so am I. Literally, at least. I always stand on the edge of the platform so I can be the first on the train. One hard push is all it would take for me to fall onto the tracks. As bleak as the last 18 months have been, no matter how ostracized I've become after Ryan's suicide, I've made a new life for myself. I don't want it to end here. I gently extract my arm from her tight grip. Sorry, could you? She steps even closer to me, so close that I'm on the blue strip. Her eyes are wild, lips so bloody and raw, like she's been chewing on them. She clearly needs help. I pull my long black hair around my face, lower my gaze to the gray speckled tiles and say, we should step back a bit. Here. I put a hand out to guide her away from the edge, but she won't move. She's making me so nervous. As a social worker, I recognize the signs of distress, signs I should have noticed in Ryan. If I hadn't been the loyal, obtuse, willfully blind wife I never thought I'd become, my husband might have turned himself in and gotten help before it was too late. He might have realized that even though he'd be found guilty of embezzlement, there were worse things to lose, like life itself. If I had noticed anything ahead of time, I might not be paying for the crimes I didn't even know he committed until he was dead. I might even be a mother myself now, like this woman in front of me. She looks awful. Clumps of matted dark curls stick out haphazardly from her scalp as though her hair has been hacked with a chainsaw. I look away quickly. I've been watching you, she says to me in a strangled voice. She squeezes the sleeping baby so tightly, too tightly, and I fear for the safety of the child. The woman's eyes, ringed with such dark circles, it's like she's been punched, flicked back and forth. Are you looking for someone? Is someone supposed to meet you here? Then I curse myself for getting involved when I should have just given her my boss Kate's number at Haven House, the women's shelter I work for. I'm not the lead counselor and head advocate at the shelter anymore. I've been demoted to office manager. I wish I'd never met Ryan. I wish I'd never fallen for his crooked smile and self-deprecating humor. And I have no recourse. I still have a job. I did nothing wrong, yet I lost so much, including everyone's faith in me, my faith in myself. She is not my client to counsel. Who am I to counsel anyone? Her haunted eyes land back on me, and her gaunt face is a look of pure terror. Keep her safe. The baby is fast asleep, her tiny nose and mouth pressed too closely to her mother's chest. She's unaware of her mother's suffering. I feel myself unwittingly absorbing this woman's pain, even though I have enough of my own to contend with. I'm about to give her the shelter's phone number when she speaks again. I've been watching you for a long time. You seem like a nice woman, kind, smart. Please, Morgan. My head jolts back in shock. Did she just say my name? It's impossible. I've never seen her before in my life. The woman kisses her baby's tufts of hair, then stares at me again with those piercing blue eyes. I know what you want. Don't let anyone hurt her. Love her for me, Morgan. I know what you want? How could you possibly know anything about me? I say, but my voice is drowned out by the announcement to stay back from the platform's edge. The woman's cracked lips move again, but I can't hear her over the wind roaring through the tunnel. I'm truly panicked now. Something about all of this just isn't right. I feel it in my gut. I need to get away from this woman. People surround us, but they don't seem to notice that something strange is going on here. They are commuters in their own world, as I was just a few minutes ago. The woman's eyes sweep the platform once again. Then her arms reach out. She launches the baby toward me. My hands catch the infant by instinct. I look down at the child in my arms and I tear up. The yellow blanket she's wrapped in is so soft against my skin. The baby's face serene and content. When I look back up at her mother a second later, the train is shrieking into the station. And that's when she jumps. Chapter 2. Nicole. Before. Nicole tapped her gold Mont Blanc Boheme Papillon pen, a gift from her husband Greg, on the last page of Breeve's glossy winter catalog. Something was off. The model leaned into warrior pose, showcasing the new line of straight-leg yoga dress pants. Nicole squinted at the picture. Yes, there was a wrinkle on the model's knee. That wouldn't do. This ad campaign was her last major project before she went on maternity leave at the end of the day. As founder and CEO of one of the best-selling athleisure and wellness companies in North America, she had finally a final approval on everything that Breathe produced. She wouldn't walk out on work until this catalog was perfect. Nicole sighed. How was she going to stay away from the office? She had never even taken a vacation without her phone and laptop. She hadn't really taken a vacation at all, come to think of it. She'd be away only 6 weeks, she told herself. A month and a half that she negotiated with her nemesis, Lucinda Nestles, executive chairperson of Breathe, and the other board members. She wanted to start her life as a mother off right, but she couldn't imagine not working. In a lot of ways, Breathe was her first baby. Now she was carrying her second. It would be okay, though. Tessa, her best friend and Breeze's chief product officer, would keep her appraised of all affairs while she was gone. She pushed the wireless intercom to call her office manager. Holly, can you ask Tessa to come see me as soon as she gets in? Yes, of course, Holly replied. Nicole pulled her thick chestnut curls off her face and laid a hand on her swollen belly. She felt a foot, or maybe an elbow, protruding. The reality of her impending motherhood both excited and terrified her. It wasn't something she'd planned. She'd gone to the doctor to get relief from what she believed was a serious bout of stomach flu. Instead, she learned she was 13 weeks pregnant. She was always so busy with work she'd forgotten to track her period, and the stress of her job made it irregular. The shocking news had sent a hot flash of fear through her chest. But the moment the ultrasound technician ran the sensor over her stomach, filling the air with the noises of what sounded to Nicole like a herd of galloping horses, she felt hope and anticipation. A chance at redemption. This was an opportunity, a chance to absolve herself of the past, a chance to bring forth a new life for her baby and herself. She smiled now when she thought of the night she'd shown Greg the sonogram. She had waited until they come home from the lunch party for Bree's 10-minute wellness out. Right after they settled on the couch to debrief, as they did after every Breathe event, she slipped the black and white photo in his hand. What's this? He asked, his brow furrowed. She wasn't sure how he'd react exactly, but she knew it would be okay. Our baby. What? He whispered, as though any louder would make the news more real. His eyes grew huge, and he paled so quickly he thought he might pass out. I know we never planned this, but it's happened. She reached for his hand and entwined her fingers with his. Her husband loved when she touched him. He adored her. He put her needs above his. He still looked stunned, but his eyes softened. I'm going to ask you this only once, and then I'll be right by your side no matter what you answer. You want this baby? She looked right into his eyes. I want this baby. We can give a child everything, Greg. We'll be great parents. We'll figure it out. We always do. He smiled then and looked down at the paper. I don't see it. She laughed and pointed out the tiny bean in the picture. He cocked his head at her. You always said you never wanted kids. Greg was right. I didn't know how much I wanted it until it happened. I assume we'll get a nanny? You're not going to stay at home, obviously. Nicole flinched. She'd never hire a nanny, and she'd never tell Greg the reason. So all she said was, I'll see how much time I can take, and Breathe has a daycare on site. He nodded, but still looked floored by the massive life change they'd never planned for. On their first date, mere hours after she slammed into the back of his Audi because she was rushing to a meeting, she told him she never wanted children, as a baby at the next table screamed throughout their entire meal. He laughed it off and said he would leave that decision in her hands, empowering her even then. And when he winked, it sent sparks through her. They discussed the possibility once more right after they got married a year later. But Nicole was firm. They were both career-focused, and kids would weigh them down. She never did tell him why she'd been so adamant she'd never be a mother. Greg was her rock. She never wanted to be a failure in his eyes. She loved him deeply, and now she realized that a baby would bring them even closer. At the 17-week sonogram, his sweaty hand gripped her clammy one, and the technician announced, It's a girl. Greg kissed her cheek and whispered, I'll never let her date, you know. And Nicole closed her eyes, letting the news wash over her. Her life had come full circle. One girl lost, one gained. And this ends the first part of Woman on the Edge. Please feel free to check out this book at our library. You can place it on hold at any time and request it. And we hope you enjoyed this reading today. Thank you.